Hello, Pisces, and welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you're having a great day. This will be your weekly reading for the week of May 16th through the 23rd. And during that time, we have a new moon that comes in on the 17th. And that, of course, is a good time for fresh starts, new beginnings, a good time to learn a new skill or start any new projects, be they inner or outer, or make new decisions. So keep that in mind. We then have the waxing crescent energy for the rest of the week. And that's as that moon starts to build the light. It's heightened senses. It's just a good, calm time to execute those things that we've just started and to live up to our expectations and intentions. So please keep those moon energies in mind as we move through the week. This will be an intuitive general reading for energies that you may or may not encounter. So as always, please take what resonates, Pisces, and leave what doesn't here on the table for someone else. And your overall message for this reading is to surrender to the divine. Sometimes you just have to do that, right? Surrender because things are out of your control and just let things go as they may. So let's see what this reading has to say for you. As I'm shuffling, my fun weekly reminder this week is that you do take the time to learn something new. And I don't mean some little tiny snippet. We're all learning every day, I really feel like, but to really do a deep dive on something and think of something that's come up in your recent past and you thought, I don't know anything about that. For me, it was probably some history thing. I did not pay attention in history class growing up at all. And so there's things that I'm just completely like, ugh. And so something will come up, and of course my husband is a history buff, and I'll ask, he knows the answers to everything. He can tell me dates and this and that, and the I couldn't do that if I just couldn't do it. So sometimes I do have to go, okay, what happened in history with this thing? And I'll go look it up and say, oh, okay, there you go. Now it's my information to have forever. Just because I just didn't bother when I was younger. It bored me. I was out the window at school if history was happening. So what I'm saying here is learn something new, even if it's historic. Maybe it's a new recipe. Maybe it's a new diet, a new way of eating. Maybe it's a new workout routine. Maybe for me, it'll probably be something new about a plant because it's that time of year and I'm outside messing with plants and planting things. And I do learn something new in the garden every year. So keep that in mind as we move through the week. The moon energies are definitely there for learning something new. So, all right, I will stop babbling. Let's get into this reading. Pisces, May 16th through the 23rd. Surrender to the divine. Your present energy right now, 3 of Cups. So that's very nice. Partying, having a good time, hanging out, friends and family. So you're just in a place where it's time to relax and have a good time. I like that. Sometimes it's just surrendering to that. Sometimes we just all push through and we're working and this and that. Sometimes it's just time to relax and have a good time. Your current situation, oh, another 3, but this time it's the 3 of Swords. So okay, your good time might get interrupted by some sort of heartbreak. And sometimes too, because this is air energy, this could just be like a mental heart, like mental break, like something somebody says something you can't get over it, right? So it's that kind of thing too, but it could be just some kind of heartbreaking thing, and maybe it comes up as you're celebrating one thing. But also look up angel number 33 as we get those. We'll see if there's more that pop out during this reading. At the root of this situation is feeling a little bit like an outsider. So were you left out of something? Is it something that you're a little heartbroken over? Could be that you're just dealing. Does it have something to do with some sort of celebration? It could be. So don't, if you're feeling like an outsider, sometimes it's about comparison, right? Um, and we all do this. We all make comparisons and of maybe how do I put this? Maybe there's some situation and you've seen other people do this situation and they've done it a certain way and that's kind of your expectation. But you're in the situation and you're not doing it that way. And that's okay. We don't have to all do same, this and that. Sometimes you're just doing things your own way, or other people are doing things their own way, and we do kind of have to adapt. Look, your card is surrender to the divine. Sometimes you just have no control over certain things, but I do call this the comparison is the thief of joy card. Don't let it take your joy. Go ahead and be joyful and just try not to do the comparisons. Kind of go with the flow. Again, surrender to the divine. In your recent past here is there's already been some sort of judgment. There's already been some sort of judgment either by you about this situation, um, which I'm going to say that's probably, you've already made a judgment on this. Was your judgment to just surrender to the divine, that it's going to go the way it's going to go? Maybe not. Maybe you're not quite there yet, but it's something for you to think about this week. You have any control over this situation? Probably not. It feels like these things are happening. Just kind of surrender to it, right? What's on your mind this week is your own stability, and that's fine. Let's go back and focus on you. I feel like maybe this isn't focusing on you. This is a whole other situation going on, but let's focus on your instability. What makes you stable? What makes you feel stable in your life? Your daily routines, your material routines, your financial situation, that sort of thing. So let's focus on your stability. You could be cursing and questioning all of this and saying it's messing with your stability, and it might be, but again, let's try to reframe, refocus, and focus on the things that are keeping you stable in your own life, right? What is just ahead of you is, if you do that, happy family, happy stability, all your cups are full, it's fine. Again, don't compare yourself to other situations in this. You've got your heart broken, there's been some kind of, you're judging something. Just surrender and let whatever happen. In your advice position here is the magician. So okay, the magician's like, you know what, we're not going to worry about that. What do you want to manifest in your own life? That is what the magician is here asking you. In which element? What do you need more of? What do you need? Do you need more in the way of the cups, the emotion type things? Do you need more in the way of intellect with the swords, pentacles, fire of the wands? What in your life, what do you want to manifest? And sometimes we just have to find those quiet moments to really think about that. And is this other situation kind of showing you something like, you don't want to manifest? Like, what is the antithesis of that? Of whatever this, you've judged some situation here, you've had your heart broken over it, you're making comparisons about it. What is the opposite of that? And that's what you need to manifest. And that's what you need to focus on. If you focus on this, you get more of this. But if you can turn it around and focus on what it is that you do want, that's what starts to happen, right? What is beyond your control this week is the 9 of Cups here, which is about feeling a little bit of just self-satisfaction here when it comes to your emotions, and that's fine. That's a fine feeling. Real close to the 10s here. That's good. This is just kind of satisfaction with yourself and how you're living your life, and things that are going on with you. What is your secret desire, or what are you trying to avoid? The Justice card, which is funny with this Judgment card here. So this is the card of truth. You can't handle the truth. Do you want the truth? Is it your secret desire to really have the truth? Or are you trying to avoid that truth? That's a big question for you this week. There's no right or wrong answer, but you do need to ask yourself, do I want truth, or am I trying to avoid truth? And once you get to your answer, understand your answer. Again, there's no right answer. Some Pisces will choose to know the truth and they'll understand why. Some will say, I don't really want to know the truth, and here's why. And I at least understand that. So make sure that you're understanding your own answer to that question and the whys of it. And it could just be that you don't want to know the truth yet. Maybe you're waiting for next week or next month or next year, but maybe you do. I don't know. It's up to you. Again, no right or wrong answer there. In your outcome is the 6 of Cups. So the outcome of all of this is there's some sort of nostalgia that comes up. You're feeling a little bit nostalgic about something. Again, with the cups, a lot of cups happening in this reading. What I don't know, I do see swords there. Never mind. What I'm not seeing is wands. Not a lot of fire in this reading. This is more about emotions, manifesting, truth and judgment, family celebration. You're going to know exactly what I'm talking about here. But what is this? There's some sort of disappointment again. Could be about that judgment. Let's see what's hidden from you at the bottom of the deck. What's hidden from you is enjoying the fruits of your labor, and maybe you just need to be doing a little bit more of that. But I do feel like you're distracted by this situation, but you're thinking about your instability and your own happiness and how to move forward in all of that. And there is something by the end of the week that has you feeling a little nostalgic. Is that positive? If it is a positive nostalgic feeling, I was just talking to Aquarius about that. And it's about, sometimes when we have those nostalgia feelings and they're good and you're just kind of lost in thought, and like, oh, remember that time that this thing happened and I felt this way. And you can just kind of remember that feeling, especially if it's a really good, strong feeling. What is it that got you there that day? What was going on in your life? And those are the things that we want. You can't recreate those things that happened in the past, but can we try to recreate those feelings by doing things similar? Yeah, we can. So whatever that nostalgic thing, if it hits you this week, think about what is it? What is it that I loved so much about that feeling? And how can I try to get that feeling back in my life? You can't recreate the situation, but you can certainly try to recreate those feelings a little bit. So, all right, Soul Oracle deck, final wrap up card for you, Pisces, this week. And it says rejuvenate. Okay. Rejuvenate. And I feel it there. That's the magician also saying, what is it that you need to rejuvenate? What is going on in your life that, you can spend a lot of time focusing on this, on whatever, but what can you manifest? We get what we focus on. So if you're spending a lot of time focusing on it, sometimes you do have to just surrender those things. It is what it is, give it up. Let God take care of it and you just take care of yourself. All right, let's see what you need to do in the way of self-care. Self-care for Pisces this week. And the card that you get is the card called Shine. It's a really pretty card, and I don't think I've ever even seen this one come out during a reading. Don't dim your light. The world needs your unique talents and gifts. Shine brightly. So, if something is going on here that is dimming your light, don't focus on it. Let's manifest, what's bringing more light to your life? What's making your family happy? What's making your family stable? Continue to do those things. You get to this point, whatever, try to remember to think about what was that nostalgic thing. I'm sure we all have them every week. I do, where I'm like, oh, I remember, back in the day and this thing happened and it was just such a good feeling. Maybe like when my kids were younger and something happened that was really funny, that we're all laughing. And it's like, how do we get that back? How do we do that again? You can't recreate that exact feeling, but those energies, and maybe it's just, oh, well, I need to have dinner with all of my kids because that is the time that those things are allowed to happen. We're allowed to have fun and relax with each other and laugh and giggle. And maybe but so you can try to recreate the situations in which those feelings can come about. And I think that's what I'm trying to say about nostalgia. Anyway, Pisces, thank you so much for being here this week. I hope there's something in this reading that you can take away and use in a positive way in your life. If you're comfortable sharing, of course, drop me a comment down below and let me know. Or if you have questions, I'd be happy to answer those for you. And if you like my reading style, hitting like and subscribe is very helpful to me. So thank you so much for doing that. I thank you in advance. Also, it helps you find me next week. Come on back and let's see where the story goes for next week. So thanks so much, Pisces. Good luck with this, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.